Maintaining a consistent configuration across the cloud environment is one of the key responsibilities you have as a cloud administrator. Even the slightest configuration drift can have far-reaching consequences that may lead to a performance degradation, downtime, or sometimes denial of service as well. As a cloud administrator, you don't just want to react to these changes after they happen. You want to ensure your cloud environment always remains compliant with its desired state configuration. To solve this, VCF offers vSphere configuration profile, which provides the built-in API-first capabilities to set and enforce these configurations directly at the cluster level. If you are new to vSphere configuration profile, I highly recommend following resources. The links are available in the description. Hi, I am Jatin Purohit, Product Marketing Engineer at Broadcom's VCF division. In this video, I will demonstrate how to automate and manage the configuration profiles by applying the GitOps principle. This approach enables you to store your configuration profile in a Git repository. To get the most out of this demo, you will need a basic understanding of VCP APIs and how to consume these APIs using VCF SDK or PowerCLI. I have blogged about both of these topics in detail. Check out the description for more details. Before we dive into the demo, let's understand workflow and the setup. We are using GitHub as our source of truth. The main branch represents our live production state. To make any changes, we use a standard Git workflow. Create a working branch, commit updates to the working branch, and open a pull request for further review. Once PR is approved, GitHub action automatically triggers the transition workflow. Everything starts with one file, vcp manage cluster.yaml. Think of this as your global intent file. To manage a new cluster, you simply add its name to the list. The automation connects to vCenter server, verifies the cluster eligibility for configuration profile, and use a reference host to pull the initial configuration profile. Once enabled, the automation commits the configuration profile back to the Git repository. Now that our configuration profile is committed back to the Git repo, we can manage the configurations as a code. To update a setting, we create a working branch, modify the configuration file, and submit a pull request for further review. After review and merge, GitHub action takes the wheel. It creates a configuration draft. It runs a validation task. If validation is successful, it triggers a remediation to bring the vSphere cluster in sync with desired state configuration. This is the power of GitOps. Your entire infrastructure is documented, audited, and version controlled. Now, let's jump into the lab and see it in action. In this lab, I have a VCF instance with two VI domains, the management domain and a workload domain. I am currently in the management domain, which has three vSphere cluster, MGMT 01A, 02A, and 03A. To check the status of vSphere configuration profile, you can click on Cluster, click on Configure tab, scroll down, and select the configuration. As you can see, currently this cluster is not managed by vSphere configuration profile. If we click on cluster 02 and 03, you will find that they are also not managed by vSphere configuration profile either. Similarly, if you visit workload domain, you can see that none of these clusters are managed by VCP yet. Let's go ahead and enable VCP using GitOps. To enable VCP, I am creating a working branch, git checkout, to start working in the working branch. Open vcp cluster manage.yaml file. In this file, we will add both the vCenter server and their cluster details. First, vCenter server name, provide the cluster name, set manage by VCP flag to true, and finally provide a reference host for the initial configuration. Similarly, I am now adding all the clusters from management and workload domain. Let's run git status to see the modified file. We will commit the changes and push these changes to the Git repository. The changes are now available in the repository. I will raise a pull request to review and merge the code into main branch. Once the code is reviewed and merged, we can head over to Action to monitor the progress. Upon successful completion, you can see the configuration profiles in Git repository. Also, in vCenter server, you can see all the clusters are now configured with vSphere configuration profile. Now, let's look at real-world scenario. As a cloud administrator, I need to update the NTP servers. I want the management domain on 10.1.1.101 and the workload domain on 10.1.1.102. Since our entire configuration is already in GitHub, that is easy. I will start by creating a new branch called demo02 update config profile right from the main branch. Once we switch to that working branch, we can modify our configuration files. Follow me how I do this. For every cluster under our management vCenter server, I am updating the NTP server to 101. Then for workload cluster, I will set them to 102. Just like that, our desired state is updated across both the domains. Commit the code, raise a pull request, review the configuration before merging it to the main branch. Click on Action and monitor the progress. In this workflow, a new draft configuration is being created. Upon successful validation, the new configuration is applied on vSphere cluster. Now, let's validate the new configuration in vCenter server. As you can see, a new configuration with updated NTP configuration is applied. Also, all the hosts are remediated to enforce the desired state configuration. That wraps up our demo for automating vSphere configuration profiles with GitOps. By treating your infrastructure as a code, you gain a repeatable, audited, and automated way to manage the desired state configuration. You can find the sample code in our GitHub repository. The link is available in the description below. Thank you for watching.